As we walk through this, Larry, what are you seeing native plants that are of interest to you and you think are a good component of a grazing system here in our environment?
Well, the blue stems for sure, little blue and big blue, and switchgrass. You know, it's a grass that is very palatable to livestock. I guess I would say, you know, with the mix that you have, there's a little bit for the palate of everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's some river oats. We have little blue, big blue, and Indian. And I guess probably one of the things that you pointed out to me, Rex, early on that I think is really important is the use of some of the cool seasons to extend your grazing period. And over the years, you've been able to, with proper management, rotational grazing on these pastures, to get to the point where you're not feeding very much hay, if any, in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And so that's one thing that has really impressed me, because as you go south into Bermuda country, it's just the culture to put up hay.
Mm-hmm.
And so about the time I retired, fertilizer cost, lime cost were increasing, and there were several producers that really started to look at that versus the native grasses, which do not have to be fertilized, especially if they're managed correctly.
And this area we're walking through has never had the fertility added to it. It's never been limed. So.
And that's, you know, when you look at the soils in the Ozarks, we're talking a pretty lower class of soils,
Mm-hmm.
rocky, charty soils. So it's really impressive on this kind of terrain to see the variety and the kind of growth that you get on the natives.
Mm-hmm.
The first year that I was here, I guess the thing that really impressed me was the diverse number of species that you have in your grazing and your pastures. And probably the thing that stands out first to me was when I was taking soil samples on all of these different areas across the property. One of the things that I noticed, and it was backed up by a talk that Elizabeth gave, was the increase in organic matter that I was seeing when I took my soil samples.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess probably that's the most impressive thing that I saw initially. And we all know that the organic matter is what feeds our microbes in the soil, so it's something that I think is very important that the general layperson needs to see, is that with these native plants, if it's managed properly, you can really build your organic matter, which in turn gives you a much better infiltration of the water. And so when you look at cropland versus this, the infiltration rate here is, I'm not sure how many times greater it would be, but a much higher infiltration rate, which gives your native plants a much better chance to go through drought periods.
Okay. So you see the possibility of a more complete system during drought,
Absolutely.
during the good years, during the bad years.
Right.
And